All right, good afternoon, 8th grade. Hope you had a good day. Now we're going to take a couple minutes and do some math notes and send you on your merry way. Hopefully I can do this in one recording. This is like the 30th try I've taken, and it's very frustrating. All right, so today's notes, multiplying and dividing monomials. Today's October 22nd, 2013, and if you go to the bottom right, we're going to label this page 16 for your notes. If the word monomial is confusing you, let's define that, and then once you see what else we're working with, you can be like, oh, that's not so bad. So a monomial, go ahead and write, it is an expression that contains only one term. And if you remember from our algebra days what a term can be any number. So 3, 5 to the third, those are all terms. In this case, there's only one monomial. Mono means one. So that's why that one's a monomial. Term can also be a variable, so C or D to the fourth power. Each one is a term. Each one individually would be a monomial. And then it can also be a number times a variable, so 5e or 6f squared. Each one on their own is a term, so therefore each one is a monomial. Alright, so let's review now that we got that out of the way. 9 to the third times 9 to the second. We know that we can keep the base and add the exponents. So this ends up being 9 to the fifth power. Same thing for letter B. When we have variables, the bases are the same, so we keep the base, add the exponents, and that ends up being a to the fifth. But what happens when we're multiplying two monomials and they don't have the same base? We would treat that the same way that we do with scientific notation. We would break them up and we would group the -2 and we would multiply that by the -8. And then we would multiply that by m to the first plus, or I mean times, m to the fifth. All right, so then we would end up with positive 16 here, and we would multiply that by m to the sixth. So our final answer would be 16m to the sixth. All right, so nothing too new with multiplying powers. Just recognizing that when the bases aren't the same, that we would separate the coefficients and separate the variables. Okay, let's do a little review on dividing powers now. So we have 5 to the 7th divided by 5 to the 4th, which means we can keep the base, which is 5, and then subtract the exponents. So that would end up being 5 to the 3rd power. Here we have x to the 10th divided by x to the 3rd. So we keep x, subtract the exponents, and that ends up being x to the 7th. All right, go ahead and flip to the back side, and this is where things can get a little hairy when we have multiple monomials being multiplied and divided here. So what we want to do is don't let all those numbers intimidate you. We're going to group the numbers that have the same basis together and treat them individually. So 2 to the 5th would get divided by 2 to the 2nd. So we would group that, and then that would be multiplied by 3 to the 5th divided by 3 to the 4th, which would then be multiplied by 5 squared divided by 5. All right, so now that we grouped the numbers that have the same basis together, we can do this the same way that we had been. So 2 to the 5th divided by 2 to the 2nd is 2 to the 3rd. That gets multiplied by 3 to the 5th divided by 3 to the 4th, which is 3 to the 1st power. And then 5 squared divided by 5 is 5 to the 1st power. Here we have to go ahead and solve. I should have been doing those for the other problems, but I didn't have a calculator on me. So 2 to the 3rd is 8 times 3 times 5. So 24 times 5 is 120, I believe. If not, you can correct me tomorrow. All right, so let's do example B and group the ones that have the same bases together. So now we have 3 to the fourth divided by 3 squared, which is 3 squared, and that gets multiplied by 5, which then gets multiplied by 7 squared. So then you have 9 times 5 times 49, which is too big for me to do in my head, so use your calculator and figure out what that is. And then do C and D on your own, and that's it. That's all we have for notes today. So come in tomorrow having those problems done. We'll talk about it, and it'll be a wrap. All right, take care. Bye.